Ladies and gents, 2021 has never been a better time to start your own business. It is clear that having a job or going to college is no longer a plan. You have to be the master of your own destiny. Wow, that was a really intense intro. Anyways, there's a lot of confusion out there, especially for beginners, as to what the best business model is to get started with. And a lot of people are very starry-eyed looking at all these different business models. They're pulled in one direction and another direction. And I'm making this video here today to give you some clarity on the best way to go if you are broke, if you've got no money. And by the way, the conclusion of this video is not just one business model, it is an entire subsection. And I'll explain why, without question, it is the best place to get started if you have no experience, if you've got no money, and if you want to get started with a business in 2021. Now, before we get started, if you could just go ahead and, ladies and gentlemen, smash that like button. It really motivates me to continue creating content for you guys and shows me that you guys enjoy it. So go ahead and smash that like button. Really appreciate it. Now, two common business models out there that I'll just go ahead and debunk right away are real estate investing and trading. I think there's a lot of gurus out there. I think the people who try to sell this as an opportunity really need to take a long, hard look at themselves in the mirror and ask themselves, are they being honest with their audience? Because look, you are not going to invest your way out of being broke. Investing in real estate and becoming a trader is not starting a business. And as I said, you're not going to invest your way out of being broke. Furthermore, when you're first getting started, you need a business model that you can start with very little capital. With both those business models, without less than $5,000, and by the way, that's most of the time not even enough to get started properly and, really make a dent. So without at least $5,000 in those business models, you're really not going to be able to achieve much. Now, you can tell me all you want about, deal sourcing. And by the way, deal sourcing in real estate, at that point, you're really just self-employed and you're providing a service for another person, which we'll get onto in just a second, but that's not real estate investing. And you can tell me all you want about no money down deals, but it's just not realistic. And as I said, I think it is absolutely immoral to recommend that to absolute beginners. And if you go down the trading route and you're really good, then guess what? Who knows, maybe you might double your money in the first 3 months. Now, that's impressive if you're sitting on $1 million, but if you're sitting on $1,000, like most beginners, by the end of it, you're probably making less in terms of the amount of hours you put in compared to how much money you're making. You're probably making less than minimum wage at that point. And the other really important thing to remember, for example, for those of you guys who want to get into trading as a business model, you're only assuming that you make money. What about if you lose money? And most traders lose money in their first year. So in terms of trading and real estate as a business model for beginners or with people who have very little capital, forget about it. As I said, it kind of almost makes my blood boil to see people legitimately recommend that as a best route for beginners. By the way, I am not opposed to trading. I'm not opposed to investing in real estate. I don't personally have any money in real estate by the time we're recording this. My personal, not business, personal trading portfolio is worth around $1.2 million, and that's post-tax. Not going to tell you exactly what I'm invested in, and my overall investment portfolio at this point in my personal name is worth around $2 million. So as I said, I am not opposed to investing whatsoever. I'm just saying I didn't get to the point where I had $1.5 million, $2 million after tax to invest in my personal name by starting off with no money down real estate deals or a $2,000 Robinhood or crypto portfolio and worked my way up from there. No, I got there by years and years of having a business. So now that we've debunked those two common biz op industries, let's move on to e-commerce. So we're talking things here like drop shipping and Amazon FBA, which by the way, if you don't know what drop shipping is, it's you find a product on a website like Alibaba, you white label that product, you put up a website, you run ads or pay influencers. Basically, you send traffic to that website. And then, the difference between what you charge on the product compared to what it actually costs, that difference right there is what you keep, minus refunds, disputes, merchant fees, etc. And Amazon FBA is fulfillment by Amazon. So basically what that means is you buy a bunch of stock, you send it off to Amazon. Then when people are searching on the Amazon marketplace, then, they might see your product. And long story short, similar sort of model, except Amazon is kind of driving the traffic there. Now let's start off with drop shipping. And quite frankly, drop shipping in the year 2021 is dead. Me personally, and by the way, I know that I represent the masses, the majority. If something is on Amazon and it's not Prime and it doesn't deliver the next day or at least the day after that, I don't order it. To me, that's waiting too long. And most days when you order something on, let's say, Apple, or when you order something, or even going directly to a company, let's say, this camera that I'm using right here, most of these companies do next day delivery, or at least at the latest, a delivery within a 1 week time frame, because they know that, look, we live in 2021. People don't like waiting around. So And by the way, those are for very in-demand, sought-after products. So imagine how people feel when they have to wait 2 to 4 weeks for a product to arrive from China, some janky thing that they bought in the spur of the moment that they don't actually want or realize that they don't want. Does that sound like a very legitimate base? Not to say it's legitimate, but does it sound like a business that is really going to be here in the next 2 years, 5 years, 10 years? No, not really. And over the last few years, we've seen the disintegration of drop shipping. Rightly so, because it's crappy products sold as a bit of a party trick, and there's no real business fundamentals behind it. If you want to succeed in e-commerce, you have to have an actual brand, you have to invest in stock, you have to build supply chains and build a real company, not just a party trick. Now, how do I know that? I have my own e-commerce clothing line, Gadzhi. And another thing that I forgot to mention is e-commerce brands take a lot of capital. You know, with Gadzhi, everything is done in-house. It's none of this drop shipping crap. And quite frankly, as a business model, it is brutal. Now, I love fashion, so for me, it's a distraction that I know is a distraction from the main businesses, but whatever, I enjoy it. So many of you guys get so much joy from the products. For example, the new Gadzhi G1 blue light blockers, and very shortly, we're gonna be coming out with the core collection, but to take that as an example, the G1 blue light blockers, we spent around 9 months developing, and then once we finally developed it, I sent the wire to the manufacturer, which was $70,000 in beginning of September, and we did a pre-release mid-December, so it really only started shipping early January. I was $70,000 in the hole for 3 months. I didn't see that flip over in revenue for 3 months. And with the core collection, I'm about to send circa a $105,000 wire. I'm converting from pounds. It's 75,000 pounds. So I'm sending that wire, and once again, I won't see that flip over in revenue for 3 months or so. Why? Because, for example, with the Gadzhi G1s, it took 3 months to build all the parts for the glasses. As I said, all of it is bespoke. We weren't able to buy any of the pieces from any companies, so all of it was bespoke. So to make all of the frames, the glass, the hinges, put it all together, get it to our distribution center in London, that took around 3 months. So it is an absolutely brutal business, guys. And that's with me already having a pre-existing brand. I can't even imagine what it'd be like if Gadzhi was just starting from the ground up. So you need to understand that if you want to have a successful e-commerce brand, and by the way, I have friends doing $1 million a month from their e-commerce brands, but they've done everything that I said, which is spend years and years developing a brand, investing in stock, building those distribution channels. And even still, it is so hard to make it work in that industry. And that brings us on to Amazon FBA, which is a slight variant of it. Once again, you're gonna have to spend $5,000 on stock for a product that may or may not work, and that the ranking system and the SEO system behind it is really controlled by Amazon. So I don't think it's, I would never want to have a business that's in another company's control. So ladies and gents, I would stay away from e-commerce in general, because for you to make it work in 2021, you are going to have to invest a lot of money, and even still, it is very hard to make work. The next common biz op is affiliate marketing. Now, I'm a little bit more of a fan of this because it is true you can get started with absolutely zero investment, but just know that for a solid year or so, you're not going to see a single penny from affiliate marketing. So basically what affiliate marketing is you find a product out there or a software out there, you market it, and then in return, you get a commission for the total amount it sells for. Now, the main thing with that is you need a traffic source. So good luck spending a year, developing a YouTube or an email list or a blog, because as I said, you need actual traffic to drive to an affiliate offer. So affiliate marketing is something that can definitely work, and I'm not discounting it at all. I'm just saying usually I don't see it as a viable main business. Really what it is for most people is a supplementary income. So if you have a decent audience size on YouTube via an email list that you collected or a blog, then you can promote some affiliate offers to it. But I wouldn't go into it as a business opportunity, if that makes sense. And really that brings us to what you've been waiting for this entire video, which is what is the best business model to start if you're broke? And there's no one right answer. Really what it is a category, and that is service-based businesses. So these include things like starting a social media marketing agency, becoming a personal trainer, becoming a consultant, learning videography and editing skills and doing that. Really, the list goes on and on. The main point here is that you are a service provider. Now, as you guys know, I personally believe in social media marketing the most. That's why I started the company GreatAgency.com 2 years ago. And really the beauty of having a social media marketing agency is you don't actually need to deliver the services yourself. You can use the Airbnb business model, the Uber business model, the Expedia business model. Right now I'm in an Airbnb. I'm in South Africa, spending 2 months away from London. Now, the owner of this villa very well could have marketed, this Airbnb themselves. Yet, why did they put this up on Airbnb, which is a huge directory and a huge marketplace of villas, and, give a massive, massive service fee and a massive cut to Airbnb? Because they don't want to deal with the stress of marketing and selling themselves. And that's really what you use when you are starting a social media marketing agency. You find a contractor who's going to deliver the Facebook ads, the Google ads, the email marketing, the social media management, really everything that falls under the umbrella of having a social media marketing agency. You find them, you use them as your contractor, and then you go out and you sell these services at a 200, 300% markup. Now, I don't want to get too in detail on how that actually works, because right below this video, you can find an updated 2021 case study where I go into this model in excruciating detail, but really that's why I'm a big fan of it. The other reason I'm a big fan of it ties into the reason that I'm a fan of some of these other business models that fall under a service-based business. So whether that's, you being a video editor, or you start, becoming a consultant or a coach, whatever it may be, is that you can start all these things with less than $100 investment. And when you are a beginner and you've got no money, that is the most important thing. Because as I said, you always look at the upside. You've got these people in e-commerce or, trading and this and that, and they're talking about all the infinite upside. Well, what about the downside? How do we hedge your downside? How do we make sure that, if things go terribly wrong, and let's say it takes you a long time to find success with this business model, because if you stick at it, any of these business models, you will make work. It's just which one is the best for a beginner. So let's imagine worst case scenario, and let's imagine that it takes you a long time to actually see results. Let's go ahead and hedge your risk. Let's go ahead and hedge your downside, which is why with social media marketing, you can get set up for less than $20. All you need is a business domain, a business email, and that's it. Things like Zoom is free. Slack, you only have to pay for once you actually get a client, and you really are off to the races. And even outside of a monetary perspective, you always want to think about worst case scenarios. So, worst case scenario with a social media marketing agency, let's say you don't sign a client for 6 months, you're out of pocket $20. The skills that you would have learned, going out there looking for contractors, or if you decide to deliver the services yourself, which by the way, newbies, most of the time they either 50%, find a contractor, or 50% of the time they learn the skills and develop the skills, like for example, Facebook ads or Google ads or email marketing. They learn those skills themselves to deliver the results to clients. Well, if you spend 6 months working on your social media marketing agency, what you're going to learn in terms of sales, in terms of operations, in terms of, hiring, in terms of going out to the marketplace, pitching your offer. And, it sounds uncomfortable. And quite frankly, that's because it is, but that's the way the business works. I think a lot of people just want to hide behind their computer and, and just find this party trick or this secret business model, and it really doesn't exist. The beautiful part is when you learn all those skills, a lot of people in my community agency, they actually then, have an agency for 2-3 years, get to the point where they're making 5 figures a month, multiple 5 figures a month. And then they actually, a lot of them start e-commerce businesses or get into real estate because they've got the money to do so. Or, they actually then go ahead and start day trading, right? Because once you've got that capital, you have a lot of options. So ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this video. And remember, if you're a beginner, you want to mitigate your downside as much as humanly possible. Now, as I said, I threw together a short 30-minute updated 2021 case study that's going to show you how to implement everything I talked about in this video, get off the ground with your social media marketing agency, and rapidly scale it to 10K a month. Now, at the end of that case study, I don't sell anything at all, but you're actually gonna have the opportunity to speak to Christian, who's my student success manager at GİRİŞİM agency, and he'll be happy to answer any of your questions about how to actually get this off the ground and get this started in 2021. Trust me, you're not gonna wanna be left behind and not watch that video. And apart from that, down in the description, you can find the Gadzhi giveaway winner. As always, on all of my videos, I give away a piece of apparel from Gadzhi, my bespoke clothing line. To enter into that, all you have to do is subscribe, turn on post notifications, and comment within the first 2 hours of a video going live, and then check back the next video, and I announce the winner. It'll be a pinned comment down in the comment section. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one.